Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Happy Easter to those that are celebrating. We've had a lot of things going on this past week. Some of the themes include cryptocurrency ETF filings, legal battles and regulatory scrutiny, blockchain innovation and protocols, market trends and analysis, Memecoins, and how that actually affects the market with speculation. We'll get into that finfluencer kind of role that's being regulated in the UK. We've got regulatory changes and DeFi and blockchain applications. Let's get into it. So first up, let's talk about how Bitwise filed their application for spot Ethereum ETF. That's actually pretty cool. However, don't forget, we still have lingering over us the whole idea that now the SEC is doing a 180 and saying, oh, well, Ethereum is a security. But they've yet to actually produce how, why, anything that, on how it's a security, how they're doing that, how they're weighting it. They're also not talking about how Prometheum got the new broker-dealer license and registration with the SEC. Like, what were those specific steps, right? Because there are a lot of companies out there that would actually like to see what are the specific steps to achieve that goal if that's something they want to do. It doesn't exist. So people are trying to figure that one out, as well as you have, politicians signing a letter saying, Gary, hey, let's run with the idea that what you're saying is true. Then how is Prometheum going to be able to handle custody of Ethereum, since that's one of the things that it says it's going to do, and you approved it? So how does that work? Yeah, so there are going to be problems on that front, and I think that those problems are going to move forward. Don't forget that Larry Fink went out there and he's saying, listen, I don't care what the SEC says. I think if Ethereum spot ETFs are still going to happen. That's huge. That's huger than huge. Now, they also created a new fund. I think it was $100 million for their, it's too long to read. It's BUIDL. It's just too long to read. And I did it in other videos. BlackRock is going to have this, right? Have this fund, and they are investing in crypto applications and crypto companies, crypto projects, straight up. So when Larry Fink says something, he's not saying it from the notion of, well, I don't know. No, he's got deep understanding of what this space is, what you can do within the space, what you can't do within the space. And if him and his team over at BlackRock don't have a clear picture of how things are supposed to work at the SEC for creating, a legal or registered entity with the SEC, that nobody does, right? So how is it that Prometheum is a registered broker dealer handling custody for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other coins, Litecoin as well? And if you were to call Ethereum a security, then you'd have to call Solana a security. Those are two massive ecosystems. That's not going to fly. Now, could you have said that when Ethereum first came out, was first introduced, it was a security? There could be a case there. But you should have filed that case back then. That's when that should have happened. You didn't take anything seriously. You didn't see it coming. And now that it's something big, now you're freaking out. Well, okay, cool. You're freaking out. Stop freaking out. Cut back on the caffeine. Take a pragmatic approach to what's going on in the space so that you can better regulate same. That's really all we're asking for. I mean, think about that. It's one of those things where you really just want to have a handle on, how people are going to use these products, these services, these platforms, so on and so forth. Get with the industry to understand how it all works, where the money comes from, where the fees are, like just all of that, all the machinations of crypto. Go inside and find out. Taking a an iron-fisted approach to the industry That hasn't worked out so far for them. SEC needs to get their ish together and really, try to figure that out. What else is going on? Traditional firms like I said, BlackRock, Grayscale, Bitwise, I think there are 11 applications for an Ethereum spot ETF, right? Then you have to sit back and you have to say to yourself, they've already been through the process for Bitcoin spot ETF. They know the process for everything else. You've been kicking the can down the road, and people were expecting something to be stated in March. Now they're thinking it might be May. I'm thinking it's not going to be May. I'm thinking it's not going to be May, and there are going to be lawsuits. And I think Gary Gensler is going to have his feet put to flame because he's going to have to explain to everybody how all of this works in his tiny little brain. Oh, mind you, the CFTC is also knocking on his door saying, what are you talking about? It wasn't too long ago that they both agreed that Bitcoin and Ethereum, Litecoin, and a couple of those are commodities. Because frankly, it's just too long ago. I mean, if you could have said something about the ICOs, okay, great. But we're long past that. Long past that. You're going to have to take a look at, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? What are you doing? And it's affecting people's bags. And I think that kind of rhetoric is helping to keep prices low, keep that downward pressure so people can buy in, or institutions can still buy in relatively low before everything just explodes up. Just saying. We should be thinking about the potential of the impacts stemming from what I call this argumentative statement, to say the least. Right? It's definitely provocative. Absolutely provocative. Right? Then we have legal battles. We have legal battles with the two, remember, Nigeria. We have two executives still being what they say are illegally detained in Nigeria. The whole big case that was supposed to be $26 billion. These executives are from Binance. That's why it's such a big deal, because Nigeria is holding up these two executives from exiting the country. At first, it was an investigation into how $26 billion in money laundering happened. Supposedly, it went to terrorist groups or whatever. $26 billion. It's not a small number. And all of a sudden, it just comes down to simple tax evasion. What? Simple tax evasion? So cool. Come up with a freaking number and have Binance and the 2 or 3 executives, one of them escaped, and the term was escaped. Again, I'm still asking, did they escape or did they pay somebody off to get out? Either way, the whole situation seems shady. It really seems like a shakedown of Binance to me. It really does. It smells like it, looks like it. Somebody's going to have to show me proof that it's not. Right? Instead of proving that it is, they're going to have to prove to me that it's not. So we have that going on. We have the UK introducing new regulation that would hold projects, companies, as well as influencers in the financial space that are talking about or pimping meme coins. They're going to have to take accountability. They're going to have to tell everybody that, hey, I'm being paid for this. Right? They're calling them finfluencers. I'm being paid by this coin or this project to say this. The coin or project is responsible. And they've knocked down like 10,000 over 2023. They've knocked down about 10,000 ads that they said are misleading. I want you to think about this. If you look across the spectrum, you do have influencers out there that are talking about different coins and going into those different coins and praising those specific coins and not letting you know if they're getting paid by it. Every time I say, everybody knows there are certain coins that I love, certain projects that I love, but you also know I'm not being paid by any one of those projects. And if I ever do wind up getting paid from any project whatsoever or any company whatsoever, I'm going to tell you before I start spouting anything about that particular company. Straight up. Shiba Inu, they don't pay me. Shiba Army does not pay me. I'm a member of. I hold a bag. I bought it. My money. XRP and all of the coins that I talk about. If I hold a bag, don't I always tell you, hey, I hold a bag of this. I bought it. My money. I'm not being paid by them. So when I say something good, when I say something bad, it's coming from a perspective of I'm not being paid by them. I'm telling you what my research is telling me, and I'm sharing it with you. Or what my research that my kids have done. And we're sharing it with you. That's how that works. But there are a lot of people out there that will absolutely shamelessly talk about coins. And maybe I caught it once with one guy where he said, oh yeah, they sent me a bag. And then I never heard it again. It was said really fast and I never heard it again. On one video a while ago. He's never said it again, but he talks about it all the time. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, I have no problem with people talking about different projects that they might be getting paid by. No problem with that. But every time you mention it, say, and by the way, they paid me to say this a while ago, and I have a bag. Now, if they gave you a bag of coin and they paid you, that was the payment for talking nice about them for whatever period of time you decided, cool. Then if you went back and you purchased more, well, I really want to know that, right? Because that means you took your own money and bought more for the bag. Cool. I definitely want to know about that. Or I definitely want to know, did you cash out? I'm just saying. I had somebody, reach out to me. It was, a friend of mine said, hey, a friend of mine or an associate of mine told me about this coin. And I was like, great. Told you about the coin. What coin was it? She told me what the coin was. No, I'm not going to mention the coin because I did my own research and I think it's full of crap. And she agrees. And it's not, to me, it's not that it's full of crap. It's just that there are too many red flags that make me go, yeah, you're full of crap. It's way too sus, right? I see some very light LinkedIn profiles. I go to the website. It's very light. They have a whole bunch of logos of companies they're supposedly partnering with. But I can't click through to get a description of, well, what's the partnership? What is it? What is that partnership that you have? Right? I'm not seeing that. It's supposed to be software. It's supposed to be a software development kit that enables you to do certain things, on any EVM compatible platform. Cool. Should that be a coin? Should it? Should it be a coin? I think what it is that you had a software company write some software that they thought was helpful, and then create an ICO for it. There are 700 million coins out there on the market and 300 million coins that are not. Currently at about 67 cents. You can do the math about how much that's worth. So that's supposedly just sitting on the sidelines. You want those numbers to be as close as possible. Amount of coins that are on the market, amount of coins that are available. You want that number to be really, 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 really close, right? You don't really want that much of the coin held by a single entity. So 300 million coins. So out of 700 million coins, 300 million are there. So even if you said it was a billion coins, and 70% of them are on the market, that still leaves 30% that are not on the market. That's a big number, isn't it? That's a big number. That's pretty much what that situation is. Now, if I have software and I create a coin, what does the coin do? What's the purpose of the coin? Oh, it's just a money grab because I'm still being paid for you using the software. Smell right? Look right? Sound right? Yeah. So my homie was like, yeah, no, I'm not down with that. As soon as she went to the page, there were no people, there were no images of people. There were these like little cartoon caricatures. And I'm just sitting back and I'm just going, okay. It's a red flag to her, might not be a red flag to me. They had LinkedIn profiles. I go to LinkedIn profiles, and one of the people I'm actually connected to by actually two of the people I'm actually connected to by at least one other person, which means they're only 2 steps away from me. So a second degree contact. But I can't see who that connection is because they have it blocked off. Really? Oh, okay. I have no way of verifying that they worked at these companies or anything else. I don't see anything about projects. So things aren't adding up to me. They're not adding up to me. If you're selling software and you're saying that, we've got X number of people, because on their software, on their website, they've got numbers, they've got metrics, how many companies are working with their software and blah, blah, blah. But I can't click through to those companies to see what they're using their software for. That's sus to me. That's very suspect to me. I should be able to say, oh, well, I have this number of people that are registered using our software, yada, yada, yada. Cool. I can't necessarily talk about what they're doing, but I should have something. There should be, if you had 100 companies that are using your software and your software performs a specific piece, I should be able to see that. You having logos is great, but I want to be able to go and see what they're doing. And it just seems shady to me. So I told her, I said, you should tell your friend that, yeah, you looked into it. You got the heebie-jeebies. You talked to your friend. He got the heebie-jeebies. And maybe she should think about getting out. I mean, especially since when I looked at, it's been around since like late 2021. And it started off at like $13 and it came all the way by itself, came all the way down to like where it is now. At one point it was at 38 cents and now it's at, 67 cents. Okay, cool. You're trying to find your way back, but it's also not tracking to anybody else. It's not tracking to any other coin that's out there. Doesn't that give you pause for concern? Because it means that they're not focused on the coin, they're focused on the product. Now, I'm not mad at you if you got software that you're selling, you created a coin for the money grab and you're selling the software. I'm not buying that coin. You do you, but I'm not buying that coin. This is why I ask you guys, please do your own research. Start figuring out the clues that kind of give you the heebie-jeebies and kind of go, here's a flag, here's a flag, here's a flag. Here's how many flags do you need for it to be a no? I got there and I looked at it and I said, well, if I go by the numbers, a lot of the numbers that they have listed on different exchanges has been verified. That's a good thing. The fact that your coin isn't moving the way other coins are moving tells me a lot about the coin's community. To me, it means there is no community. It means to me that there is no real volume. There no transaction volume or anything like that. That tells me that this coin is going to move. But the coin's market cap is about, a little under 500 million, right? Total market cap, if you count all of the coins, would only be like 623 million. I sat there and I was kind of like, yeah, I'll stay away. Because I'm looking for that correlation between how are they moving versus other coins and how they're moving, right? I'm paying attention to that. So there's all that goes on. So I'm hoping that you guys are doing your own research. In innovation, we have Rune's protocol that was introduced by the Bitcoin Ordinals founder. So that's kind of cool. Enhancements to simplified transaction, security improvements, and unique token assurance approach, right? And that's very good. Innovation. I like innovation. It's pretty cool. I still wonder, how am I going to be using Bitcoin when nobody wants to move their Bitcoin? One. And there are other platforms that already do what they're trying to do over here on Bitcoin, which is mad expensive, and these other chains not so expensive. So I still have questions about that. I need to go dig a little deeper because I don't understand the reason why behind it, right? So so I'm not looking at it from a controversial perspective. I'm just looking at it from a practicality perspective. That's how I look at it. The potential significant impact of cryptocurrency market, if approved, would be similar to Bitcoin spot ETFs, possibly. Would I look at it that big? No, not really. I don't think it would be that big. But I look at those things and I kind of, weigh how that impact would impact. And it's another micro event that would be a part of another bag of other micro events that would come up to be a macro event, right? A nice little wave. So it's not one drop of water that's going to get to you. It's going to be that whole wave that moves things. And that can be a part of that whole wave. So I do think about that kind of stuff. Other innovations, well, XRPL, they're making moves. They're making moves for their AMM to correct that and make it better. And they have a couple of things going on. You had Vitalik Buterin talk about, rainbow staking and how that could work. There's a lot of innovation that's going on around the space. And I really advise you to really do your research around that innovation. And the reason why is because when you start to think about how people are innovating, how projects are innovating, that could have a further reach down the road. So the same way that a network outage could have a negative impact, innovation could have a positive impact. So for innovation, I'm looking for, hey, we're looking to do this. Hey, we're doing this. Hey, we did this. And then that fourth one of, hey, here's how it's going. So you get those 4 touches, and it depends on which touch you get in on that actually makes you money. So when I do my own research, even on, the tiniest of coins, I'm looking at, well, what are you doing that's different than everybody else? How are you innovating? Now you could do the same thing that everybody else is doing just because there's enough room in the market for you to be there. But I'm also looking at, well, maybe you really are doing something different. Maybe you really are creating something brand new. And I want to know about that too, because the sooner I know about that, the sooner I can make a decision on whether or not I want to get in. And if I wind up getting in, well, what does that mean? Can I make money? Well, that's the gamble, isn't it? And that's what I consider, right? Then you have Dog with Hat becoming the 3rd most popular meme coin out there. Doge, Shiba Inu, Dog with Hat. Bonk, by the wayside. Pepe, by the wayside. They're still making money, but Dog with Hat took off. Dog with Hat took off. Something else that I'm looking at, I keep paying attention to Floki. My son pulls my coattails. Hey, Dad, you need to pay attention to that. Because he went and got the family a bag. And Floki's killing it. And I'm just sitting back and I'm going, wow, that's pretty cool. Again, building community, building up mass, and moving that mass. Dog with Hat, crazy cool. It's like a whole bunch of people want me to do a Stitch coin, floppy ears. If I was to do that coin, I would probably call it floppy ears. And the reason why is because my mom calls Stitch floppy ears because his ears are so floppy and he's so cute. But I look at that and I just kind of go, so look at what the groundswell was around Dog with Hat. At first it was Pepe. Then bonk, 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 bonk. Then Dog with Hat. And it just happened. And they're saying Dog with Hat is this round of pluses, this new bull run. Dog with Hat is the new shit. And I'm sitting back and I'm looking at Shiba Inu and I'm going, Shiba Inu. I told you before, this is why I love Shiba Inu. Because they came around and they said, yeah, we're a meme. We were a meme. They created their own layer 2. They have their own decks. They've got a metaverse coming. They have a lot of stuff that community is doing, making it happen. And that's why I love Shiba Inu. That's why I love it so much, because that's what catches my attention, right? Vincent, I almost forgot. Vincent sent me a super chat and said, thanks. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Sent me a sticker and I greatly love that. Thank you so much for supporting us, because it takes a lot to get this stuff done. It really does. Up every morning, bed late, doing research all the time, banging out articles, doing videos, doing lives, all of it takes a lot. So any support that we get is greatly appreciated. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I really hope you like what I'm doing. Sometimes you guys ask questions and I point you to articles that I've already written so that we don't have to rehash certain things. But I do love questions coming at me. I appreciate the support. That's a big deal to me. Thank you so much. But if you like what I'm doing, let me know. If you don't like what I'm doing, you have suggestions, let me know. Somebody suggested I should get a new camera, and I'm kind of like, the Sony that they suggested, I have the alternative, which is the Logitech Brio, and it shoots well. My question is, when you looked at my video, did you look at my video in 1080? Because it's shooting in 4K. So it's actually pretty good. Like, I can see my video right here. It's looking pretty good. I got to shave. It's high time. But there's a lot, and there's a lot that goes into it. Getting the mic, getting the microphone, getting the lighting, just doing everything. It takes a lot. It really does take a lot. And every time you guys say thank you, it really tells me that I'm doing the right thing. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.